Alright guys, what's up? Wineland1 here, and we are finally taking a look at TIGERHAWK. I had this whole beginning video set up of him in package, but I just cut it out because you don't need to see that. We are getting right into it because I am so excited about this figure. It is 4:30. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I am still doing this because this is the only time I have right now to do this. So let's get to it really quickly, and we are going to do a nice comparison with the original TIGERHAWK, and easily my favorite Beast Wars figure and character, because I myself, I'm born the year of the tiger. I love tigers, and I love Tiger Tron, right? And when he came back as TIGERHAWK, and he has these wings, and he looked angelic, he looked awesome, he was so powerful. Easily my favorite character. And you look at the old original one, he wasn't really that screen accurate, obviously. And you look at him now, right? But he looks so robust, so powerful. You look at him, even like the claws in the front weren't accurate, but they were in his chest, so they made his chest look humongous and powerful. And like, man, look at this guy. He is just fantastic. He wasn't perfect though, I'll give him that. I was not a fan of the springs and the cannons and also on the wings, and like sometimes if you have it oriented some way, it pops up. I found it annoying, but it was whatever. And also the kibble on the arms, a really big tiger head right here, and you have this stupid, cover right here, kind of restricted the arm from moving pretty decently. But no matter what, he still looked great. And any way you pose him, he just looks awesome. So this new one right now has a lot to live up to, because even though he might be more accurate, he might have better articulation, obviously. Is he gonna have that same nostalgic feeling that I have of that one, right? I don't know. We'll see. I'm staring at him now. I just took him out of the box. He looks fantastic. I'll give him that. Exactly like how he looked like exactly how he looked like in the TV show. You can't deny that. He looks legit. They copied and pasted him out of there. So obviously Hasbro's doing a great job with that kind of stuff right now. But let's get into it. He does come with a couple of accessories, right? So he does come with two cannons right here, which go in the back. You can actually hold them if you want to, like so, right? But who does that? No one does that. And then you basically just put this back here. Pop that in, all right? And he has his gauntlets right there, and these actually go up, and if you want to use that for later, which is pretty cool. And he also does come with two bladed feathers, if you want to call that. I don't know if you want to call this, but they're blades, if you want to call that. They do pop in to the side right here, like so, which I would probably just leave it like that. But they're also made to be blades for him to hold, right, if you want to use that. Which is not bad. Nice to have options. So with that done, he does have one more accessory, which is his arm cannon right here. He only has one. In the show he had two, but he only has one right here. So you can stick this, I believe, on the side. Yeah, there's a little peg right there on the side, which is pretty accurate in a way. So that's nice to have. But man, come on Hasbro, we needed two of those. Also in the accessories, you do get his manual. I do want to point out one thing from the box, actually. 43 steps. 43 steps. That is ridiculous. But yeah, the box art was pretty nice also. You do have a lot of cool things right there. More to come, right? But let's get into this right now. Alright, having these two side by side, it's kind of crazy because the more I look at this, the more inaccurate it looks. But this is how TIGERHAWK was for me growing up, right? This is imprinted in my brain. As much as this is how he looked like in the TV show, this is what I grew up on. This is what I love so much. And quality-wise, this one feels really good and sturdy, and holds up to really good plastic. This one is a little bit lighter. He's probably built fine, to be honest. I'm just too used to that one. But overall, he does feel a little bit lighter. I think the quality of the plastic is a little bit degraded compared to this one. Not a bad thing. However, how it has held up in 20, 30 years, I don't know, right? But this definitely is a difference in quality. I could definitely feel it. But that's too early to say anything, right? Who am I to judge it? But with that being said, we'll put him to the side. And one thing I already like a lot is how they were able to make the kibble of the wings really flush. It looks nice. Folded up, it looks really good. There's no springs in here, so you could freely move these around as much as you want, which is great. And again, them go up. They have a couple points of pivot, which we'll go over later in articulation. But everything looks pretty good. All right, size comparison time right off the bat. So here he is with the Transmetal 2 Megatron from the Legacy line as well. I do have the DX40 new head sculpt on him, of course. Makes him a lot better, honestly. You gotta get that. You got to get that head sculpt. 10 times better. I do have a review on that. Go check it out. But yeah, side by side, they look great together. Megatron is just a tad bigger, not by a lot, but which is fine. I don't think he should be humongous compared to him. They should be around the relative same size, give or take, in my opinion. But I'm perfectly fine with Megatron being like a couple, centimeters bigger, which is fine. All right, next up right now, we have the Power of the Primes Optimal Optimus. I actually like this one a lot for this scale. He looks pretty good in my opinion. And of course, we have the original Depth Charge rocking the 2 Shark Blasters, whatever you want to call them. I had to get an extra one on eBay, but he looks really cool with both of them in hand. Height-wise, I think it's pretty good. I think TIGERHAWK was bigger than Depth Charge. He's not obviously from the same line, obviously, but he holds up pretty well still, obviously, really nicely. But here they are, these two guys. No complaints right now. I want to point out with this new figure how straight he is. In a way, it looks nice because he's really compact together. It looks more uniform, I guess you could say. But he's also really stiff as well. And of course, next up right here, we have Tigatron and the late, great Air Razor. God bless her soul. But here they are, side by side, combining them together to get this great TIGERHAWK character. So yeah, I want to talk about how this figure feels, because looks-wise, there's not much to say. It's obvious. He is an exact copy of how he looked like on the TV show. Good props to Hasbro. They made him perfect. So I'm not even going to go over all the details, because if you watch the show, it's exactly how he looks like on the TV show, right? So, but how he feels is another thing, right? And like I said, coming off the original one, which has a lot of robust parts and springs and stuff like that, this one definitely has more articulation. He is better proportionate also with his body, his frame. So it looks good, but like he feels stiff. And you look underneath here, like this part looks weird. Like you need to have this down. Don't bring it up. Leave it down, right? But his legs are pretty stiff, right? They're nice ratchet joints, but they're just like it's straight or nothing, right? And then you bring it out that far on the ratchet and it looks weird, right? So you want to keep him straight pretty much all the time. He does have a thigh swivel, which you can get some articulation. His knees, due to the transformation, they don't have any stopping point. They just keep going forward or they go all the way back, right? And that kind of brings a little bit of a problem when it comes to standing, so you have to really balance him well in a way. He does have nice talon claws in the back to help with support of him standing, which is nice. So I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad figure. It's just he's awkward sometimes, but I think I'm nitpicking a little bit, to be honest. But like he's kind of top heavy, so yeah, I don't know. So you see, kind of right now he would just kind of tilt a little bit, and you really have to like get a nice degree perfectly with the legs and the knees to get him standing straight. Other than that, he does feel fine everywhere else. I love the fact that the tiger head on top is a lot smaller, so his articulation, like I said, is a lot better overall. Bring his arms up, a little bit of a give right here, so you can bring it up like that. Maybe I'll just get into articulation in general. Okay, going to articulation, let's start with the head. The head is on a really small joint, right? It's hard to tell. I'm trying to get closer. It's a really small ball joint on a little small post. And I'm okay with that, but I feel like one day I might just snap it. I don't know why. And then it's a pretty tight ball joint as well. But as of articulation, it doesn't go up, which is kind of disappointing. It goes down, which is fine. Pivots left and right, turns left and right, which is okay. But when you have flying poses, you want him to look up, and he can't do that at all, which is kind of disappointing. Right here, just want to point out the hind legs over here. They do just sit there. They don't peg it at all. They're not going to move that much, to be honest. They're kind of pegged in the back right here. They're not going anywhere. but they will move around just in general on the shoulder, but it won't really bother you. The shoulders right here on this side, we're gonna go side by side because a little difference. Great movement on this arm right here. This flap right here allows a lot better movement. Pretty decent standard articulation, swivel, hinge, bicep swivel. On this arm though, it does go up and down, side to side and whatnot. You have about that much range because of the head sculpt, because of the tiger head right here. You could pop it open a little bit like I did before to get more, but overall it's pretty standard and it works good. He does have a waist swivel, which is nice as well. Going to the wings really quickly because I love the wings. So he has one pin joint right here, so it goes right that. Another one right here, so that goes back and forth and back as well, so it's pretty nice. He does have a swivel at the wings over here, which is really good. And then, like I said before, there's no spring gimmicks here, so it moves a lot more smoother in my opinion compared to the original one, and it's just a lot easier to manage overall. I do like the fact that the cannons as well, they're on a pin swivel, you want to call it that. So with the original one, they're either down or they spring up right away, right? So this one, you actually bring it midway. So if you remember in the TV show, when he first encountered the Predacons, he had it like halfway open, you know, underneath his arm, like that. And then he blasted, who was it? He blasted, I think it was Rampage and Dinobot away. So that's pretty cool to have. Now going back to the lower body right here, he does have ratchets. Goes up, really good range though. I'm not gonna deny that. Good range. They go out, so that's one pivot right there, and it goes out there. It looks like there's only one pivot. Maybe if you, I don't know, maybe if I put some silicone shock oil in there, it might help a lot. Swivel at the hips right there, which is great. His knees, like I said, fantastic range because of articulation, but yeah, it goes forward and back, which is pretty nice. And it has this nice disc, which is really accurate to the TV show as well. And down to the feet right here, he does have a pivot joint due to articulation, which is okay to go inward. This part right here does move as well, right? And they don't go up and down per se though, so that's about it. Here they are, right? In their beast mode, side by side. And I know a lot of people were kind of criticizing because you see this one, his hind legs are, you know, they're powerful, they're nice, they're big. And you look at this guy's little bitty legs, right? So it is what it is. I don't really care that much. It looks fine. It is what it. He's a freaking Fusor slash Transmittal 2 thing. Nothing's gonna be proportionate anyway. But here they are side by side with their nice tiger heads. If you want to go really close on that one, yeah, obviously this is more screen accurate. It looks good. This looks like it's a tiger from He-Man, right? It's Gringer, right? But yeah, it looks good either way. I mean, nostalgic, old school, modern, how it is, screen accurate, right? He almost looks like a bear, I'm not gonna lie. Like a polar bear. But yeah. Like I said, overall, like this new figure in general, it just feels, it's lighter, right? It's lighter. It feels more compact. It feels more proportionate. It feels more put together, obviously. Like, this is a mess. I don't care what you say. I love this figure so much, but this is a mess, man. Like, handling this thing is crazy. Yeah, but it just looks beautiful because it is what it is. But yeah, you stand there. So let's get Megatron in here, right? All right, here we have Megatron finally in beast mode. If you guys watched my other review, I took off the whole chest part. Left it the way it is. I think it looks fine. You don't really notice it in my opinion. But here they are. Megatron versus TIGERHAWK. Yeah, let's go. And I look good together. I love this Megatron. He looks fantastic in his... Whoops, let's get that better. Yeah, he looks a lot better in his beast mode, in my opinion. But here he is with TIGERHAWK, ready to fight it out. Roar! Yeah, let's go. But I have to admit, having these two side by side, the new generation versions after 20 years, 20 plus years, it feels good. It really feels good. They're so accurate now. They're a lot more detailed. They look a lot cooler. Literally, like I said before, popping out, copy paste out of the TV show into my arms, into my hands, on my table right here. It's a good time. It's a great time, man. It really is. But yeah, I'm gonna take some pictures of these guys because I'm never putting this guy back into beast mode. I'm not gonna lie. He's never gonna go back into beast mode. He's gonna sit on my shelf and my display as a robot, and that's gonna be it, pretty much. But yeah, so last couple of things about him in beast mode, just going over it really quickly. And like I said, he's a lighter figure, and everything actually just feels a lot more connected and in one piece compared to the original one, of course. So I'm going to say that's a good plus right there. I know, like I said, people hate the little twig, the twig legs, hind legs back here. Doesn't really bother me. It looks fine. It is what it is. But like I said, the wings look great on him. I'm going to spread them out a little bit. They look good. Spread out there. Spread out there like that. Have him flying around, right? It's a pretty big wingspan, so it's pretty nice. Bring his feet up forward. His head doesn't really move that much. Articulation wise, that being said, like the arms move, whatever. The hind legs move back, whatever. Pretty good range overall. It's just the head doesn't really move. It's pretty much stuck into place. Doesn't even swivel actually. It's literally stuck into place. All you can do is move the mouth. Rawr, let's go. Very cool. Very nice. Also, want to point out, remember, in Transmetal 2, you know, their spark moves around, right? So in the center right here, this would have been like their spark right there. In the original one, it's a big giant globe dome right here, which actually sports like a seat. It was weird back then. Like, it was like a capsule. I don't know what they were doing back then, but this looks a lot more cleaner, obviously. It looks actually nice, like a little gem. Looks pretty cool. Alright, take a good look. 360. He's never going back into this beast mode again. Alright, I have to admit, I just transformed him back into robot mode. It took me like 2 minutes. It was quick. I guess as time goes on, transforming him back and forth will be a lot easier to get him back into beast mode. But with that being said, this figure is fantastic. It's hard not to like it. He's so accurate from the TV show, and honestly, he might be the most accurate Transformer from Beast Wars. That is, in my opinion, the transformation is flawless because look at him in robot mode and beast mode. Everything looks great. I know people hate the small pigeon feet, if you want to say that, but it's not a big deal, and it looks great in robot mode, so I'll take that any day, honestly. It's really clean. He has barely no kibble, honestly. He looks exactly like how he looks on the TV show, to be honest. I didn't notice this before, but the feet actually do peg into over here, so you just have to get it in the right way sometimes. It's hard, but you know, just having it sit up there is fine too. It's not a big deal. Alright, so the heat is coming on, so that means it's time to finish up. And I don't know, man, I have to say, it's a great figure. It's hard to beat the original one because of nostalgic and just the way it was made back then, but this figure is clearly better in every way. Articulation, molding, screen accurate, just overall better. It feels more complete, obviously. Everything just is really nice with this figure, and yeah. Definitely, in my opinion, I think this is the greatest Beast Wars figure ever. You know, it's easy to say because, you know, a lot of these figures look very accurate. There's some give here and there for some things, for most of them. Of course, all the new figures, they're super, super nice, right? But this one just, in my opinion, is just the full package right here. And it's everything I wanted, right? And I can't blame that. Alright, so that's about it. Great figure, great stuff. And thanks for watching, guys. It's my first time making a full-on video like this in almost a year. And as they might slow down, of course, because my little angel right there, but I'm always around, always still collecting. And I hope you guys are collecting as well. So thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Just pay attention. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. One last one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace. Happy New Year, guys.